Hi third graders, I hope you're being good for your parents. Today I'm here to help you with guided class practice 108A. I'm going to get started right away here. First thing, of course, I'm putting my name on the paper. Alright, let's see what this problem for the date line is asking. This says, draw a 1.5 inch line segment. Make it 3 11/16 of an inch longer. How long is it now? So I have 1.5 inches, 3 11/16 inches. I have to add those together. I know to add 1/2 to a number that has 16ths in the denominator, I'm gonna have to change 1/2 over to 8/16. So over here I'm writing 1 and 8/16 plus 3 and 11/16. When I add this together, I'm going to add the whole number. 1 plus 3 equals 4. My denominator of 16 is staying the same. 8 plus 11 is 19. So far I have 4 and 19/16. I need to change this over. This is not a proper fraction, it's improper. The numerator is larger than the denominator. I have to change it over. So I'm going to take 16 of these 16ths and change it to a 1. That means that I would have 5 and 3/16. That means that my line segment would be 5 and 3/16 of an inch. If you have a ruler, go ahead and draw that out. Okay, starting on problem number 1. 1/6 of the children in room 18 have pet hamsters. 1/3 of the children have fish. If there are 30 children in the class, how many children have pet hamsters? How many children have fish? Wow, this is a complicated question, but I see some information that I am going to cross out because I don't need it. I don't need to know the room number. I'm going to cross off room 18. That was some information they gave us that we do not need. Okay, now I'm going to circle my important information. 1/6 of the children have hamsters. 1/3 of the children have fish. And my total is 30. Okay, let me write my total on the side. Total is 30. 1/6 have fish. Oh, 1/6 have hamsters. Ooh. And 1/3 have fish. Okay, so to solve these problems, I know that I'm going to have to multiply the fraction times the total. So for my number sentence for hamster, I'm going to do 1/6 times 30 children. There were 30 children total and 1/6 of them have hamsters. To solve this, I divide by the denominator times by the numerator. Once again, that's divide by the denominator times by the numerator. Let's write that out. Divide by the denominator and multiply by the numerator. Okay, so divide by the denominator. 30 divided by 6 equals 5. Now I have to multiply it by the numerator, which is 1. 5 times 1 equals 5. That means that 1/6 times 30 children equals 5 children. Answer 5 children. Remember what we did to solve. We divided by the denominator, multiplied by the numerator. Moving on, how many children have fish? Oh, fish, it was 1/3. So I'm going to do 1/3 times the total, which is 30 children. To solve, I'm going to do the same thing. Divide by the denominator. 30 divided by 3 equals 10. Multiply by the numerator. 10 times 1 equals 10. That means that my answer is 10 children. Answer 10 children. All right, moving on to number 2. Number 2 is asking us about the degrees for each angle. It says, write the number of degrees in each angle. So when I look at these first two here, this is obviously a right angle, making that perfect L shape. This is our right angle. And we know that right angles are exactly 90 degrees. When I look here, this is a perfect straight line. We would say that this is a straight angle. We know that straight angles are 180 degrees. Now I'm looking at this clock. A full circle we know is 360 degrees. But this only wants us to take up one small portion of that circle. It's using a clock to show us how much. Now on here, every 5 minutes is 30 degrees. I know this because I could count around and go 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, counting all the way around, and I would get back to 360. Every 5-minute increment is 30 degrees. So I see that this has a 5-minute increment on the clock, so 30, another 5-minute increment on the clock, 60. That means that this angle here is 60 degrees. Now I'm looking, this says, what is the vertex of angle 1? I see here's the angle numbers 1, 2, and just 1 and 2 there. So what is the vertex? A vertex is a meeting point. The vertex is the meeting point. Where do they touch? Where did the two lines touch? All right, so I see M and P, the number in the middle, N, that's our vertex. That's where these two lines are meeting. So angle 1, our vertex is N. Now I'm going to look at this straight angle here. I see X, Y, Z. X is in the middle. It's where the other 2 points are meeting. That means Y is in the middle. Y is the middle letter. That's where X, Y, and Z, Y are meeting. That means that Y is my vertex. What are the rays of angle 1? So I'm looking back at angle 1 here. It wants to know, what are the rays? What are the lines that are making it up? Remember, a ray is where there's a point on one end and an arrow on the other. So when I look here, I see that this ray, there's NM, and there's NP. Those are the lines that are making it up. I'm starting with the vertex in both of them. I'm writing N, M, and NP. Now I have to label them like a ray. Remember, a ray has an end on one point and an arrow on the other. So I'm going to go over N, M, N, P. Now, what are the rays of angle 2? Start at the vertex, which is Y. Y, X, Y, Z. Let me write that out. Y, X, Y, Z. Those are the lines that make it up. Drawing my ray above it to label it. Okay.